Hi, welcome to my September book haul. In September I went to my favourite bookshop in London, which is Piccadilly Waterstones, the biggest bookshop in Europe, and I absolutely love to spend a whole day in there. I spend a lot of time in the non-fiction section, and I'm always amazed by what I can find, what I'm surprised by. And I picked up two books. I picked up Anthony Grafton's Inky Fingers, The Making of Books in Early Modern Europe. This is a very niche book. This is a very niche text, a very niche interest of mine. I am very interested in the early modern period in Europe and bookmaking, book culture and book history. The book as an object basically. And this book focuses on different people who created different books. For example, a notebook, a history book, an archive, a religious study, and it also talks about the people working in a printing house. I already read this book. You can hear more about it in my September wrap-up. In Waterstones I also got The Verge by Patrick Wyman, Reformation, Renaissance and 40 Years That Shook the World. This book is about the decades between 1490 and 1530. As I already mentioned, this is a time period that I'm very interested in, not least because of the Reformation. This book focuses on Christopher Columbus, Isabella of Castile, Jakob Fugger, Götz von Berlichingen, Aldus Manutius, John Heritage, Martin Luther, Suleiman the Magnificent and Charles V. I already started reading this one. I read the first chapter about Christopher Columbus, and I am pleased to tell you that this book does not glorify any of his actions. I'm obviously most excited to read about Martin Luther, and I'm not sure if this book will give me any new information on Martin Luther, but he is one of those historical characters, of those historical figures that I have a special interest in. September also saw some exciting new releases. We got Ailey Hazelwood's Love on the Brain. I am usually not somebody who enjoys particularly straight romance novels, but I liked Ailey Hazelwood's first novel, especially because of the setting, and this one is set at NASA, and this just sounds absolutely amazing. I want to read a romance story that is set at NASA. Yes, please. I'm not sure yet when I'm going to pick this one up. Maybe around Christmas, because Christmas is such a cozy and sweet time. It's definitely the perfect atmosphere for a romance novel, and also the cover once again is absolutely adorable. So the protagonist has a German last name. Her name is B. Königswasser. So that's exciting. A very anticipated new release was Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, a book that I've also already read and talked about in my September wrap-up. In this one we follow Carrie Soto, who comes back out of retirement to defend her title of holding the most Grand Slams. This book is about tennis and it is mainly set in the 90s. It has everything a good Taylor Jenkins Reid book can offer. Taylor Jenkins Reid is an author by now for me. As soon as I know a new book of hers is going to be published, I put it on my wish list and anticipate the release date. Another new release is The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell, which is a historical novel set in the 1500s in Florence and surrounding provinces. We follow Lucretia growing up as the daughter of the most influential and richest man in Florence, and her journey into an arranged marriage with a man she cannot trust and fears is going to kill her. There is a special edition that is exclusive to Waterstones, but I decided to get the standard edition because in this case I do prefer the standard edition. Standard edition is green and has this beautiful golden tiger on it, and I absolutely love the color green. And even better, it is in combination with pink and shows a snake on the end papers, and I love snakes. Pink, green and snakes is just perfect. So I definitely did not want the Waterstones exclusive edition, which is red and features a tiger on the end papers. A new release in the world of graphic novels and comic books is Judge Dredd Legends of the Law Volume 1. This book collects the American Judge Dredd stories that got published by DC in 94 and 95. This volume collects the first two story arcs, the organ donors and trial by gunfire. Judge Dredd is an absolute fun and cynic and satirical read. I enjoy Judge Dredd so much, and by now everybody and their mother knows that I am a huge Judge Dredd fan. And as soon as I got this collection, I had to read it. And I'm very excited for volume 2 to come out. And I've also pre-ordered the Best of 2000 AD Volume 1, which is on its way to me at the moment. And another graphic novel that I got in September is Atlantis Chronicles, a story of Aquaman by Peter David and Esteban Maroto. This book is a part of DC's Heroes and Villains collections, and I not only love Aquaman, I also love Maroto's art style. I realize more and more that I do prefer classic comic book stories to the newer stuff, the contemporary stories and especially art that Marvel and DC puts out at the moment. And this is basically a origin story of the people of Atlantis before Aquaman was born. And I'm very, very excited to read this very beautiful graphic novel. I also got 3 ebooks, but I think I'm going to do a collective ebook haul whenever I have a suitable selection of new ebooks. And until next time, happy reading.